What's up, everybody? This is Bobby coming live, lit to roll. I don't even know where to go from there. I was making fun of
That was
Shawn.
good. That was good.
That was
No
it. That was
worries.
it. That was good.
That
Yeah.
was that
But
was that was pretty much mine. What's up, everybody?
what's up,
But
everybody?
I'll tell you what, Bobby, you're not taking over the master.
No,
Sean is
I
still
don't
king.
want to.
Sean is still
uh,
I felt
king.
like I was on the spot there.
well, yeah. I just wanted to let you do. Let everyone welcome you back here, Bobby. So, but
Thanks.
yeah, dude. We are back, you guys. And Bobby's back, so we're happy to have that. We're just doing our little hangout quadcast. Had a long weekend. I'm a little tired too, so that was nice to have Bobby, take the load off right there. But yeah, we'll do some intros. I am Shawn. I'm a C5, C6 quad from a snowboarding accident 19 years ago. And then Tom, why don't you go? Then we'll let our man Bobby.
What's up, everybody? Now you got me saying it, Bobby. It's just in my head now. I am Tom Conaway. I'm a C6B quadriplegic for the last 25 years. And Bobby, welcome
No,
back.
and hey, thanks a lot. I'm Bobby, C5, C6 quadriplegic uh, from 34 years ago. But one of my favorite things to do is like when I see people, I try to recreate like their style or the way they might walk or something or their
Yeah, yeah,
mannerism. Like when I think a couple months ago on our cast, I was making fun of Sean or Tom of the way his
yeah.
arms are. And,
I remember that well.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
It's
just
it's
and I
funny
have a
though because sometimes me and Brianna we've done that too. She'll go, "What's up, everybody? It's Sean with to roll." It's just it's so classic, it's the intro.
my wife has
So
she has, my wife has a famous one where she does like a fake smile. She's like, "Is that okay to have that for dinner?" And I'm like, and I always go, "Okay, yeah, sounds good." And she's like, "Stop, shut up." It's a bad habit I
how,
have.
how are you, Bobby? How you doing? How you
I'm
feeling?
doing good. For those that probably didn't hear, I had some of that surgical wound that's been chronic for over a year now. We had a lot of the scar tissue cleaned out. Um, there was something inside, which was a pocket of fluid that was giving me a little bit of problems where I felt. And my surgeon said, let's go in there and clean out a lot of the dead tissue. So we cleaned it all out, stitched it up. It looks way better. And now I just have this little gap open and we're letting that heal. And hopefully this is on the road to the right path of getting better. It sucks that I had to go down for a couple weeks, but it was kind of worth it because I was able to send off my wheelchair to my buddy Mike Box in Houston or outside of Houston in Texas, and he was able to modify my chair so I can use my ZX1 now. So I got my ZX1 working,
You want to tell people
and I
what
got
ZX1 is for people that might not know? Just
yeah, no problem. The ZX1 is a power unit that can grab
Thanks,
onto
Sean.
the back of your chair and kind of lift the back wheels off, and you got a power unit for your manual wheelchair.
yeah. So basically
Which
turns the
is super
manual into
awesome.
power.
Yeah.
It's
So
just
I've had
another
this
form of
for
assist.
yeah, I don't know what's going on with my camera today, but I've had it for a couple of years, or not a couple of years, for almost a year. And the chair that I got it with, that chair doesn't, it's not working out. So anybody who's looking for a 15 by 15 with 5 inches of dump, brand new tie light, let me know. I got one for sale.
Oh, all right, Bobby, I'll talk to you, man. I've been looking for a manual chair. I mean, you might have to lower the price tag for me because I'm your co-host, but we'll talk. We'll talk. We'll talk.
All right, Tom.
Yeah.
So it's,
Also,
it's
my booty, my booty might be a little wider than yours too, so that might be an issue.
yeah,
But hey,
it's
we'll see.
15 by 15. So if you can fit in a
Okay.
15, you can be good.
And
Nah,
real quick, I'm gonna just in the chat real quick. We have someone from the sports festival. Gracie, how's it going? Brianna's not on the show today with us, but she will be on Thursday. So she has the women's show coming up on Thursday. And what's up, Air
Hi,
Wings? What's up,
Gracie.
Mr. Wheels?
Yo, we got
PHC.
CNY photo video in the chat.
Yeah, what's
Mr.
up?
Wheels. What up, Rob? We got our buddy Rob in the chat. Robert was hanging out with us all weekend, or at least me on Saturday.
He was there on
And
Sunday hanging out too. Yeah.
I know he was. I know he was. Our guy. What's up, Grandma? What's up, everybody? Love all you guys so much. Mr. Lee, hope you're good. I wanted to talk to you. I want to do a Metro public transit show. I just saw that you were um, out there bussing while your van's in the shop right now yesterday. And I want to talk to you about it, man. Because I love to take the bus and I want to talk about the experience and motivate others to try to do the same. Because I think it's a great mode of transportation for those who don't have cars out here. Um, but yeah, we're hanging out on this beautiful, beautiful Tuesday afternoon in Southern California. And we're coming off a great weekend at the Triumph Foundation Sports Festival in Santa Clarita.
Now, I wish
Mr.
I had
Wheels was
put
there.
together a video for. I was trying, but I've been too tired. I'll have one up on the channel in the next few days.
It's all good. Air Wings was there, but we're going to talk about that a little bit. We'll talk about our experience there, and then otherwise, we're just kind of doing a quadcast, hanging today, talking about life. We're super happy to have Bobby back. Got the Bobby update. Might ask him a little bit more about that later. About what kind of Teflon cabling they sewed him up with to make sure he didn't open back up again. Um, but yeah, we're just chilling.
My choice would have been cement.
So if you smoke them, if you got them, crack open a beer. Come and hang out with us for a while. If you guys have any questions or any topics you want to suggest that we touch on today, now's your time because we're just kind of freestyling today. But I'm going to start with our father, our king, the creator of Lucha Roll, Mr. Shawn Fluke. How was your experience at the Triumph Foundation Sports Fest this weekend, dude?
It was fun. I mean, this is the first year that I went. You know, we were doing like the vendor booth thing. Usually, I'm there just to hang out, play rugby, just cruise around, hang out with everybody, and play whatever other sports I can get on into. Um, but yeah, I played a little bit of rugby. I just cruised around. I watched a few other sports, but it was really fun. I know I didn't get. I honestly didn't get to play enough. My intention was to do more on Sunday, but then Tom wasn't able to make it on Sunday. Brianna was a little bit late, and we didn't have as many able-bodied like helpers around. So it was like me and Grandma for the first few hours, and it was just
Sorry, man.
that made it a little harder. You know what I did do? I did the drum circle. I gotta go. That's what I had some pictures because we had the drum circle next to us, and Chris Wall, the Wall Bangers. A shout out to them. They're awesome. And they were hanging out right next to our booth and hung out, did that. I flew the drone around a little bit. That was cool. So I got some drone footage of the of the
Well,
event.
you know what, Shawn, with your drumming, my wife, when she can't sleep, the stupidest thing she does is grabs her iPad and reads article. But I know she does her Facebook, and 2 o'clock in the morning she bangs me and she goes, "What the hell is Shawn doing? Drumming?" And I'm like, "Huh? Yeah, I don't know. What? It looks like he's drumming." Just like 2 o'clock in the morning. Go to sleep. So I saw you. I got woken up to find out what you were doing there.
Hey, that's awesome. It was fun though. All weekend I kept passing by him like on Saturday, like I'll be back. I swear I'm gonna stop. Every time I would pass by the jump circle area, and then finally on Sunday I was like, all right, let's do this. And me and Cage actually sat down and drummed for a little while too. Brianna came over, so we got like a
Heck
whole
yeah.
little mini group going.
What's up,
Yeah.
Peter? It's rolling great, dude. How's it rolling for you? The word of the weekend for I think everybody here in SoCal was hot. It was hot, hot, hot on
That's
Saturday.
Saturday was
When
rough.
I was there.
Really.
Shout out Mama Conway in the chat and Papa Conway. The whole fam was there. Em was there this weekend, my sister, which was really amazing and great to have at such a beautiful, fun event, hanging out with so many friends and all the family. That was a really beautiful part for me. But it was so hot. The minute I got out of the car, I was dying. And anybody that knows me or knows the quad life knows that like extreme heat's difficult. And yeah, it didn't fare too well. So I felt like I spent the good majority of the time either like hiding inside like with the AC or just like pouring cold water on my body to try to like maintain, some semblance of function. Because yeah, it was tough. And then like especially still to try to talk to people and you're like move out to the sun. It's like a minute or two or three passes and then you like start to die from the heat. You're
And
like,
on
oh
Saturday,
shit,
they had our
I want to
booth
be
in kind
moved.
of a weird spot to where we didn't have much shade or room. So we were
Oh,
constantly having to push into the sun and be in the sun. Like, it was rough.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
sorry, Tom, go ahead,
yeah,
man.
and especially
No, dude.
when we get hot, it just there comes a point to where it's like, okay, I'm hot, I'm hot, I'm hot. Now I'm so uncomfortable, and it takes hours to cool down. Like there's,
So
you
that's
have to
what
have the air conditioning and cold water over you.
That's what I forgot.
Yeah,
That's one thing I didn't mention on Saturday, and I have it right here. This thing was my savior. This is a neck fan. It goes around your
Oh,
neck. It looks so stupid, but these fans just blow up at your face, and it's like a little cool breeze. And I used that, and I had my spray bottle. I have a rugby spray bottle. For rugby, we use like they're basically plant sprayers. They're like for your garden, because they
yeah.
spray a lot of water, but they're amazing. And I just sat that on my lap, and I was spraying myself up at my face, and I had the little fan blowing, and that was the only way I survived Saturday outside for like most of the
yeah.
day. So it was, yeah, the neck
Well,
fan, $20,
that
Amazon.
plant sprayer, Sean rolls up. I thought he was trying to poison me with pesticides or something. But no, it's just some icy cold water in there. It just blasts you in the face. But for anybody that doesn't know, that's really the name of the game. In the heat, our body's natural cooling mechanism is to sweat. Like our skin will sweat, and the condensation effect that happens when the water starts to evaporate off of your skin actually cools your body down. Now, that function stops working generally, not always, not for everybody that has SCI, but for higher level quads, especially, it's very common for that autonomic function to not be there for us in the moments that we need it, especially when it's hot. So you can create the same effect just by getting a mister. I mean, I'll half the time I'm just pouring water on my body, but like a water bottle, just like just pour it on me. But the mister is great, and the reason the mister is great is because it does mimic like the sweat. It's little tiny beads of water that evaporate super easily, and that condensation effect, that evaporation, is actually what's helping like cool your skin. So that's what you want, ideally. I mean, any kind of wet, cool water on your skin is gonna work and do good, but getting a mister is gonna give you like a really nice, cool feeling on your skin, and
I,
that's kind of what you're looking for.
I will say though, the one thing about the Mister, and this is with rugby and everything, every time I use them, as soon as you do the first time,
Then you
it's
got to
like
go back.
crack. You cannot
Yeah,
stop spraying yourself
Can't
because
stop. Yeah,
once it evaporates and dries, you feel hotter than you did before. So it's like this like I need you just it you need it and you become almost like it's so hard to get away from it until it cools down. Until it like,
oh,
really
yeah.
cools
That's
down.
like dumping water. Anytime you get a little bit of relief, then you're over.
Yeah.
If you got a mister, or sometimes I'll be hanging out in the backyard. With my wife, we play a lot of board games in the summertime, and I'll come in and I get under my bathroom sink, rinse my head off. I'm like, oh, and then it's like every 10 minutes I got to go back because it's you're addicted to it and you need to cool down. You didn't realize how hot you were.
yeah. Well, our buddy, Mr. Hellwheel, is in the chat. He brought me over like a neck ice pack to like wrap around my neck, which like ended up like saving me and like feeling really good. So I had like the cooling around my neck. I had like the water from the mister and just like whatever I was pouring on my body. And then I don't know. Thankfully, it was a very nice facility that had good AC inside. I was trying to just like be out by the booth, to do what we were there for, which is promote Live to Roll and be out there talking to people. But um, you know, it was a nice respite and escape to be able to get into some AC, like a nice air conditioned facility, which like really saved the day, because yeah, it was just tough.
And see that.
But I would struggle with heat. I know going into it.
Yeah, no, that's the that building was for sure like a much nicer, like a safe place you could go to. But my problem was on Saturday in the kind of earlier in the day, I went in there, but I also played 2 games of rugby in my rugby chair. So I instantly got into like I got warmed up and hot. And then as soon as I went back outside, it was like hitting a wall of fire. It was just like, oh God,
Yeah.
what did I just do to myself? Uh,
Uh,
so that was a mistake, but rugby was fun, so it's cool.
So for everybody that or anybody hasn't heard or watching this for the first time, so tell us about all the different sports there that you could try out besides just rugby and basketball, and some of
Yeah.
the other sports, hand cycling. So go
Uh,
ahead and you
They
guys
they
can.
had they had bocce ball, which is like a really like fun kind of activity that doesn't take a lot of strength or even like dexterity. It's like pretty easy to just kind of toss it and like even get some finesse on it. With pretty low function. So I love that one. I thought that was really cool. The other thing that I saw that wasn't really like super sports related, but they have a big artist for trauma booth there. It's like not one booth; it's like a couple booths all stuck together. And it's just an opportunity to go do some art, get your hands in some paint, just get some paint on a piece of paper, a canvas, and I don't know. I love that. I think it's great, like emotional and mental and physical expression, and I think it can like be really fun, like physically challenging too, in a certain sense to do art and stuff like that. So seeing those events there, and then they had I think did they do the yoga this year? Adaptive yoga.
I think they did
I
have
Yeah,
know
it
they
at
did
one.
that last
yeah,
year.
I think it
Dr.
was,
Brindle.
yeah, in the one other little gym, yeah. Because like they had the
Yeah.
one main gym with a lot of the sports, and they had another building where they did like the Rollettes were doing dance classes. They had the yoga there. They had self defense. They had fencing, like literally
Wonders on Wheels, which is an
Wonders on
adaptive
Wheels.
exercise
Fitness was
program
going.
online.
They were
It's just mostly
outside.
like dance based. They were dancing and moving and grooving, and again, super physical, great fun physical activity. Get your body moving, which isn't kind of the more traditional sports. But then the more traditional stuff, they had archery there.
Yeah,
They had over the line baseball, which was really cool. And then again, in the realm of less traditional adaptive sports, but still one that I think is super amazing and fascinating and cool that they can host is scuba diving,
they
which
do
was
scuba.
awesome. They were doing the scuba out there in the big deep pool, and then wheelchair MX. Our buddy
Yep,
Tony
Tony.
was flipping and grinding and almost breaking his wrist doing crazy.
Dude, I wish I had that
Stunts.
video clip we could show. That
Oh
fall
man.
was wow. Like I don't know how he didn't break his wrist. He might have though. He might have fractured it. But
He felt like 10, I don't know, it's probably at least like 6, 8, 10 feet into this bowl. And you can see the video where he just like braced with his wrists going down, and it's like this full body weight chair momentum going right into his hands. And oh, it looked gnarly, dude. Ugh, crazy.
yeah,
But in any event, the wheelchair MX is amazing. It's super crazy, fun, cool, adaptive sport if you're able to do it. I've known some quads that have tried it, but I haven't personally gotten in one of those chairs and tried to like flip and go into like a you know ramp or anything. But it is cool. It is a really amazing sport. And
yeah.
shout out to
so
our
you
buddy
guys,
Tony.
you guys are missing the best sport,
The
the best
Rohan
event.
Rodeo.
The
There
Rohan
you go.
Rodeo.
I was gonna
No,
mention it.
no.
I
We're
did see.
saving the best for last, Bobby,
Uh,
and had it set up. Yeah, the Rohan Rodeo, for anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, is just basically a wheelchair obstacle course. It's like a timed obstacle course, and it's built for manual chair users and power chair users. And it's really fun. It's a really fun way to engage. It's just like a cool activity to kind of try to race around and get the fastest time too. And there's always like the two categories for the manual chair users and the power chair users. And yeah, it's just a whole lot of fun. So that's what we're doing, Bobby. We're
Yeah,
forgetting
that
about it. We're
and
just saving it
Like,
for last. And
well,
Bobby was the founder of the Rohan Rodeo.
yeah, that Bobby made it
well, I
up
mean,
and started it, but he had his our buddy Juice Mode Hector running it for the weekend. I think he did a pretty good. Or no, was Juice running it, or who was running it?
well, I know on
I think he was running
Saturday,
it.
Juice was there
I
most of
think
the
he
time,
was,
and part time on Sunday. Um,
but
but I came up with it a long time ago. We were at the hospital I worked at, Rancho Los Amigos. We had a sports festival, and they didn't. Somebody in a power chair came up to me and said, "This is all great, but there's nothing here for a power chair user to do. I can't get in those chairs. I just, even if I couldn't push one of those chairs to do rugby." And I was like, that sucks. And I was looking around trying to think of something for him to do. Nothing. So the next year, we had our meeting for the festival, and I'm like, we got to do something for power chair users. And that's where I thought of an obstacle course going in and out of left and right turns and obstacles so we can so power chair users can get competitive, and they do.
yeah, no, it's awesome. People love it.
Oh,
There's
I'll be
it's all
question
timed and
corner.
stuff. Yeah, it's
Take
Yeah,
off a couple seconds on my time.
good.
I mean, anybody
go ahead.
that hasn't tried something like that, I don't know. It's unfortunate that the sports festival can't be more places. I know they do adaptive rec everywhere, but what they do at this sports festival is really special. Just
I
in the
think
number of activities you can try in those 2 days, like it's wild, and like there's really not enough time to do all in one day because they do so many. But I do want to touch on something in the chat. Graciela, you said that you missed the baseball, but you love it. Well, do not fret. The Triumph Foundation, they do a big over the line baseball tournament every October. It usually
yeah,
falls right around my birthday. Is on my birthday this last year, which is a whole lot of fun, and it was honestly an amazing, beautiful way to spend my birthday. So if you are around in this area, they're going to be hosting that in just a few months, and keep an eye out for it because it's an all-day thing. It's a big tournament where you get to play a bunch of games of like the over-the-line baseball. Which, for anybody that doesn't know, that's adaptive baseball. It's just we use wiffle balls instead. They're still pitching, they're still hitting, they're still running the bases, but
the
it's just
no
modified to
the
make it.
paras use the quads can use wiffle balls, but the paras do use like more of like a softball and like bat.
Okay.
And there's
And
no running the bases.
no
You just
running.
hit over the
Three,
line.
yeah,
Um,
3 on 3.
yeah. So it's just like a basically just like pitching and hitting, and then when you're in the outfield as a quad, you just have to
Hey,
touch
I'm
the
painting a
ball.
picture over here. I was running the bases in my mind. Okay.
They do wheelchair baseball where they run the bases and stuff, but I think that's more paras. Maybe quads can do it. I don't know.
No, what I'm getting like a little confused with is you get to play outfield too, and you get to like
Yeah.
chase after the ball and try to like catch the ball, or
Oh
if you're a quad, just try to hit the ball to get them out and stuff. And there is
my
still a
God.
lot of like activity, even as a power chair user. Like I found myself like super engaged, and, really like having a lot of fun chasing after the balls and stuff.
I
And
think that's one that
yeah,
the power chair you have a little bit of an advantage in the outfield because you're
yeah,
fast out there. You can
Yeah.
like you can cruise to those balls, man. So
When it
uh,
was, they used to down in San Diego, they used to have a big tournament where it was 50 teams, and there was two divisions, world class and unlimited, and it got really competitive. World class is you can have any mix of three players, meaning you can have all quad guys. And what's nice about all quad guys is they all hit with the wiffle. You just have to hit over 10 feet, and you just have to touch the ball and they're out. You don't have to worry about catching it. So if you have three fast quads, it makes it, tough team to get, a hit off. And then there's world class where you have to have one quad and one woman somewhere in your mix up, in your lineup. So it would like one year we came with one female who was a quad, myself and another quad, and we qualified for the world class and won the championship 3 years in a row.
Oh wow.
Dang.
Yeah.
I was in the finals this last year at the tournament, but we lost. So I
Oh,
was honestly getting super overheated, and we had some birthday dinner plans, so I wasn't super sad. But hey, shout out our buddy Nico.
I
He
know,
was the
Nico.
rookie, he was the rookie of the year at the Over the Line tournament
Yeah, congrats,
this
Nico.
year. So big shout out to our buddy Nico. Nico is an awesome friend. Um, yeah, he is newishly injured quad, who's super inspiring. Sets an amazing example for someone who's taking his rehabilitation and recovery super seriously, and has made leaps and bounds in terms of getting independent and getting out there and tackling life and living life. So. Big shout out to our buddy Nico. Congratulations on this weekend, man. You super deserve it. I'm just really sad that I missed it on Sunday. I'm sorry that I wasn't there, but you're awesome, bro, and thank you for joining us today, man. Appreciate you.
And shout
We gotta
out,
get you on
thank
the
New
show
York
sometime.
Photo and Video, man. Thank you for that incredible
Oh,
super chat. Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Roll it up and
Roll
smoke
this up
it.
and smoke it. Good to see you all. Hey, CNY
Appreciate
photo and
that.
video, dude. We certainly will, man. Appreciate you, bro. Really appreciate you. I noticed earlier in the chat you said you've been paralyzed for 20, I think 27 years or something like that. Maybe you could fact check me, Shawn, and scroll it up. I can't access my keyboard right now.
Yeah, we'll have to find.
But we really appreciate your
45
support.
years next month. There it was.
45. Oh my gosh. I don't know where I
He's
got
actually a
27.
real old vet, like up there with
You're
Robert.
Hey,
the
be
OG
careful.
OG.
Like one of the. I mean, just like the OG, but like he's got more years than you, Bobby.
I know. I was gonna. I'm like,
That's not very
hey,
common,
coming
dude.
from
Like
like,
that is really crazy. But we really appreciate that. We appreciate the love and the support, honestly, and really helps make doing some of what we do a lot easier with all your guys' love and support. So thank you guys
yeah,
so much.
And thank
and
everybody that came out to support this weekend too, to support Triumph, and then came to buy the us, and yeah, just everybody that was out there. Thanks, guys. It was
I also do want to like bring up one special moment for me. It was meeting our friend. Please don't let me forget his name right now. Dale Young.
Dell. Yeah,
Yeah. That was just so awesome. Like you came out on Saturday and was like, "Yo, one thing I want to do for sure is go find the Lips Roll booth and go see all the crew." And it was just amazing getting to see you and getting to meet you and getting to meet Bobby and everybody. So that was really nice. It was just like such a sweet, cool, wonderful moment for me to get to take a picture and hang out and meet. So I hope you're here watching and hanging out. You said you would be. So I'm calling you out if you're not. You watching the video back, but it's all good. Peter, seriously, do blunts help with spasms? Marijuana helps with spasticity. I would argue that combining nicotine, and we're maybe getting into semantics here. If we're talking about a blunt, I'm assuming it has a tobacco wrap. I don't think combination of nicotine is beneficial for spasticity.
yeah, I
If
don't
you're
know.
looking to treat spasms, you probably want to just stick to straight marijuana.
Like just the cannabis.
Uh,
Yeah,
and I think
maybe smoke
everybody
a
has,
joint.
and it's probably depending on the type of spasms you might have.
right.
I
Yep.
know it helps a lot of people who have that clonus. What I've heard, where your clonus just keeps going off, but the real harsh spasms, the big back spasms, after transferring kind of spasms, I don't think it helps on those types of spasms, but I think it really helps for.
Edibles certainly do, I think. Peter, for you, I mean, if you're not a smoker, especially like a low dose edible, like 5 or 10 milligrams, Um, I know you got some crazy spasms, and I don't know. I can still get spasms even if I've taken edibles or even if I've smoked. But you meant just a joint, all right, for sure. In Cali, like when we think of a blunt, we think of like a tobacco wrap, um, or something like around some weed. Which again, for anybody out there that uh, smokes blunts, like that's cool. But I don't think it's the best treatment if you're looking for like to get rid of your spasms
Probably not the
because it
healthiest for like regular use for if
yeah,
you're a quad for your lungs or any disability with your lungs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, have you tried it at all, Peter? Uh, have you
I
tried
know he has the
smoking?
VA stuff, so I don't think Peter has done it much because I know he has
Yeah.
restrictions with the VA. I know he's mentioned that before. But
And
and I
I
want to
know,
shout out Hipcrip mentioned earlier. He's just started playing rugby. Awesome, dude. Keep that up. Rugby's so fun. It honestly changed my life early. So that's like one of the things that really helped me with independence and stuff.
And
oh,
shout
absolutely.
out our fam, Kyle. How did they do this weekend? Do you have the
So they
updates?
finished third in D3, the Division 3. So that's pretty good. They got a trophy. Not as good as I don't think they wanted to. I think they wanted to play in the championship game, but Um, Reno played really well, and I think kind of beat him out of that second spot because the number one team that won was pretty good. They watching them play. I watched some of the games. They were streaming on YouTube for Oscar Mike, which is like the I think we talked to him about it before, but they're an all VA or all ex-military rugby team based out of Chicago. So, uh, but yeah,
Is
they're streaming it.
is what's her name? Kind of a
Kara?
quad.
Yeah, kind of a
Yeah,
quad. That's who she plays for. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Well,
So
congratulations to them, and congratulations to Kyle, our literal fan, for doing so well, and yeah, getting nationally ranked. That's pretty amazing achievement for sure. We're gonna have to get him on and do like a rugby show and talk about that.
yeah, it'll be fun. We'll
And
definitely have Kyle back on
one
soon.
thing I was going to tell Hip Crip, but one thing I never had spasms, and I started rugby, shortly after my injury, and so I always thought like, wow, I'm so lucky. I never had spasms, and until I retired from rugby, or I guess you can say just not playing anymore, uh, spasms started kicking in. The pain started kicking in, nerve pain started kicking in. So it was, it did help a lot with keeping loose, keeping, stretched out, gaining that strength and the endurance. And so I contribute a lot of that to rugby. Now, on some things, it didn't help. Like I have a bad back and my back's always sore where I'm doing this a lot. Um, luckily I don't have any shoulder pains, but rugby was, very, very helpful.
Yeah, no, I love rugby. I will say the only thing that sometimes after some good hits when I'm playing after like a couple games, I feel it in my neck. That's the one, and I'll be sore for a couple of days where I'm just like, ooh, like it feels like I was in a car accident, like or
peace out,
something.
Angry Quad. Thanks for joining us, dude. Hope you have a great rest of your day.
Later, bud.
John,
Yo,
thanks, Sean. Take
every
it easy,
time
man.
I've done rugby, for the sparse few times I've done it, oh man, your body gets rocked, baby. Like that's what it's like. Like you feel it, and it's just like that whiplash. Because like I don't know, I'll avoid it for most of the time, but then I'll get like in a pushing match against somebody, like going after the ball. Boom! You like get paid, you go flying, and then that's exactly what happens. Is like your neck, you just snap. Like it's crazy.
And I
Yeah,
think the last time I finally said, I think it's about time to give this up, where I got hit by uh, a double amputee, and he hit me so hard that chair popped up and I went sideways and hit the ground. And I was just like, I felt like I just got hit by a Mack. I'm like, I think this is it. This is
Yeah.
this is getting crazy playing against these guys. And rugby now, what I've heard from Shawn is uh, divided up a lot more, where you're not playing those top tier teams as often like what we used to. So hopefully, that helps a little bit. But looking at Shawn's face, I think he's still getting rocked, huh?
There's it's just actually it's crazy. The teams there's a lot of good teams right now, and because they one thing they did with rugby this last year, they opened up the rules. They've always had it very regional. You have to play for a team that's within like 100 miles of your home address. They've just opened it up to where you can basically play anywhere you want now. You just have to email the league and apply and get permission from a coach. So guys are moving and playing like stacking teams from all over the country and so they're just like these building. There's like 20 teams around the country now. So there's not like one in every city anymore, but there's like 20, 30 stacked teams. So every team is just good. Everybody has somebody from another country or somebody like they have an import player. There's a lot of really good teams. So yeah.
Just to touch on a couple things from the chat, Peter, like our boy Peter, he's got spasms that are on another level than I think a lot of us deal with on a regular basis. I know that, like you said early on in your rehabilitation, that was like what is like really slowed you down and kept you there for a long time was just such intense spasms. And you got a backlink for pump. You say you're maxed on all the oral pills you can take. Again, I know it can be super finicky in states that it's not legal. Even I don't know where it's not medically legal now, because even in like pretty serious states, like they usually have like medical legalization. But if you're at your end's wits, if it's the last straw, it's just what you said in the chat. You got to try something. I know for, I mean, personally, every quad and pair that I've talked to, like that is what they say, they notice the most is the reduction in their spasticity, when using cannabis. I, do want you to go about it the right way. If you are able to talk to your VA doctors and, get it medically or, get some, figure out some way to work it with the VA. I know, the rules can just be so lame, but I do think it is a very viable next step. And hey, nothing's working. I got to try something. And if you say, okay, so it's legal there in Illinois, then,
Yeah.
you know, talk to doctors, man. I mean, especially if it helps you. Like, even if it's a VA, I can't imagine how they could like punch you for that. Like, that is just crazy to me.
Peter, are you going to
Uh,
come out to the Chicago Abilities Expo next month, end of June? Let us know because we are going to be there if you're in Illinois. I don't know how
Sure,
far
let's
that is
hang
for you.
out, dude. Let's
Yeah, you
go.
should come out.
We'll get you baked,
We're
man.
coming out for a full week, so
And Nico in the chat had a question. How do you measure dump in a manual chair? So basically, most manual chairs, they sit like, 90 degrees, right? So it's just like a flat, surface you're sitting on, and then there's the back. Basically, the way you measure it is just like the flat, like the back is lowered, I think a number of inches. Bobby said
Well,
like his is like 5 inches deep. How many is yours, Sean?
mine's like 6.5, I think.
well, mine's
So
actually I
those
think
are
six.
extremes.
But
Those
really,
are extremes.
but
Well,
really,
no,
what it
because
is at the front of where the seat pan ends. So at just under your calves or under your thighs where your seat ends. So that's the highest point of your frame. So from the seat to floor, mine's 19, and then in the back, mine's where the seat drops down. It's 13. So you go from 19 to 13, and that's how I get the six
Six.
inches of dump.
yeah, so the
Yeah.
front of your cushion is 6 inches higher than the back of your cushion. Is basically what that means. And doing
It
that
doesn't.
gives you more stability for someone like us that doesn't have any core
Yeah.
muscles, any function to hold themselves up. That actually kind of sits you in the chair and allows you to be more stable without using your core muscles.
Yeah, it's lowers your center of gravity, at least where your butt sits, and it just allows your core to not have to be relied on so much for balance. It just
Yeah.
sits you back, so you're leaning against the back of your chair versus kind of like fighting to like fall forward all the time, which is like what most quads sitting on like a manual chair without any dip in the back struggles with. Or at least that's what I
But
did.
some of the negative of having a lot of dump is trying to get your ass out of that dump.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not strong, or on a day you're tired, or like for Shawn, you might be a little stoned. You're like, oh my god, no, I'm just kidding,
So
but
for me,
it
actually, if I am a little
is.
too, if I am too high and my spasms completely, like it takes a lot for my spasms to be like completely like noodle legged almost. But if they are like that, it is harder for me because I lean forward and my legs don't like, and they spread out, they go like wide and my head falls through them and my butt doesn't really come up. Like, but if they stay tighter and I have spasm, when I lean forward, my butt just naturally comes up and slides forward. I don't know what it is exactly, but if I don't have enough spasticity, it is hard for me to get out. So you're right. If I am too stoned, um,
What I'm saying is, it makes it harder to come out of that dump a little bit. If
yeah, to
you
get
know,
your butt up out of that initial thing, to like, yeah,
CNY Photo Video says it right here in the chat, just a couple comments back. Weed helps me, but you got to plan your high, usually a few hours before bed for me. And that's absolutely right. You can, I think, hinder yourself for this stuff as much as it might help you. If you do too much, that might make it harder for you to transfer, harder for you to function. Absolutely. So, for anybody who is thinking about using cannabis, unless you already know and are a seasoned user, just please be mindful about the amount that you use, and yeah, just plan what you're doing. Don't go into it willy nilly. And that's true for
uh,
all drugs.
yeah,
Um,
CNY. That's exactly like when I look at Shawn and Tom when they've smoked out like at it anywhere but their house. I'm always like, oh my gosh, I'd have to have my bed right next to me, and I couldn't even imagine.
uh,
yeah.
yeah. That's I think just that's just practice, Bobby.
Alcohol is harder for me, like transfer wise and stuff. Like if I have a
Oh
couple
yeah,
drinks and I
no,
get
alcohol
things,
is
like that transfer is a lot harder than if I'm just really baked. If I'm really baked, I don't know, like it makes you tired. I mean, worst case scenario, I might get cozy, wrapped up in a blanket in my chair, and decide to nod off for a couple hours and wake up and be like, "Damn, I gotta get in bed." But that doesn't really happen. I mean, like I can be pretty stoned and still transfer. Like I don't feel like muscle weakness. I just am like I'm just baked, like I'm just maybe moving a little slower. It doesn't like necessarily weaken me.
yeah.
But in any event, like if I'm having bad spasm day, it might make it easier because that's usually when I get my most spasms, when they're most triggered, is when I'm transferring out of my chair into my bed at the end of the day. That's when like they dance and like they'll both kick out and shake like crazy for like a minute or two. But if I got the right amount of cannabis, then they'll be a whole lot chiller.
See, and that's what it is kind of for me is a balancing because without it, my spasms are violent sometimes and super strong, and they're hard to manage, hard to transfer and do stuff. If I did too much of it, then I lose all spasticity. That also makes things difficult for me because then like I actually do use some of that core spasticity, like my tone in my core. I think that helps hold me up too because when I do lose that, like I'm flopping over easier too. Like I'm falling forward. Like it's harder for me to stabilize myself. It's harder for me to transfer everything. So it's finding the balance. You, you got
Yeah.
to use just enough to dull the spasms, but not enough to like, for me at least, to completely annihilate them.
Oh, we got a couple of neighbors in the chat. Looks like Hip Crip and
Yeah,
CMY Photo Video live pretty close to each other. Hey, that's cool.
Uh,
We got our East Coast Live to Roll fam. We got our West Coast Live to Roll fam. We got our Midwest Live to Roll fam in Chicago. We got all the bases covered pretty much.
no,
um,
East Coast, West Coast.
yeah, that old Afro Man song comes to mind.
but real quick,
What's it? Or should I say you right now?
one quick thing
Or-
to get back to Nico with the dump. Uh, Nico, if you were asking because you're thinking about getting a new chair, or if that was a question, or you heard that a lot at the sports fest, but if you're thinking about a new chair, Tom, you want to take it away with sponsors real quick?
yeah, I do want to take it away with our sponsors.
Put you on the
Um,
spot.
Mobility Professionals out here in Southern California has been supporting Live to Roll since day one. It feels like they are our longest sponsors and supporters. They are a mobility rehabilitation equipment company out here in Southern California. They specialize in wheelchairs, other mobility equipment, other associated rehabilitation equipment, and they are an amazing group of individuals that can fix your chairs in a timely manner, can get you the right chair with the right amount of dump, with the right, seating solution for you to provide you the most independence, function, and mobility that you can achieve. And they'll make the process super easy for you. You just got to give them a call, let them know the Live to Roll sent you over there, and just relax as your problems are taken over by some professionals that really have a heart to get you functional and mobile to the best of their ability and to help you with all the logistics along the way. And then their sister company, Urology Professionals, um, is similar manner. They just specialize in urological supplies. So anything catheter related, they got you. They are a national company though. So anywhere in the U.S. you find yourself needing help getting some catheters, some or urological supplies, and you're struggling, stop struggling. Reach out, go to their website, give them a call, and they will help you out. Nobody nowadays should struggle to have access to catheters or urological supplies at the most base level Medicare, Medi-Cal insurance. They are covered and they will be covered by insurance.
Yeah.
It might just be a matter of getting the right company to, again, help you handle the logistics and, figure out what needs to be done to get you what you need. But again, they will do that for you. They'll talk to your insurance. They'll do a lot of the legwork and help you understand the process and get you what you need. So thank you so much to our sponsors. We love you guys. They were at the sports festival
I
this
was gonna say they were
weekend.
at the festival, and they were
They,
they set up the service station. They were fixing chairs all weekend for people,
yeah.
just just free volunteering, helping out, doing a bunch of stuff. They had a whole crew there. So yeah,
Yeah.
shout out, they're awesome. Thanks, Tom. For
And I can't emphasize enough how important it is to get into a right wheelchair. Like our friend Nico, he's in a power chair right now, and I think it's provided him some great like mobility and independence, and it probably will continue to. But having like a more accessible manual sports chair, one for like physical exercise and activity, and then just being able to take to events like this, and be independent and functional in different ways that only a manual chair can be. As Shawn and Bobby well know, in comparison to a power chair, it's you know it's really important. I think I used to have a manual chair. Unfortunately, I don't anymore because the insurance doesn't give me two wheelchairs like they used to. They would give me both for exactly what I said. The instances where I wanted to, push for exercise, or where my manual chair was better and easier for independence or just function in whatever situation I was, going to. But the rules of the game have changed. Insurance isn't so friendly nowadays, and the tie light that I had, the frame was cracked, and they aren't willing to repair or replace. There are amazing organizations like the Triumph Foundation, though, with their equipment exchange program. They do a lot to provide individuals wheelchairs where the insurance won't. And that's not, I mean, a lot of it is here locally, but they even do a lot of like national stuff. And at the very least, they can make you aware of resources more local to you that could help maybe provide something similar in that regard. But if you are finding yourself not happy with your wheelchair, um, or the level of function that it provides you, and you see others in different equipment, think like, hey, shit, maybe I could do that, or why don't I have that? Then look into it. Seriously, reach out to the Triumph Foundation, reach out to
there,
us,
there's a
reach
lot of
out
other
to
foundations too. Yeah,
other organizations. Absolutely.
The
yeah.
Kelly
There's
Brush
But
Foundation,
Grant
High
Mom.
Five Foundation, Daryl Gwynn Foundation. There's so many out there that are able to help out with a lot of that equipment.
Yeah, I mean, it just sucks to be in a chair that you're not comfortable in, or maybe you know that you would be more functional or more independent in, something else, even if it's for just part of the time. Like, I would be hard pressed nowadays to like abandon my power wheelchair, but I know if I had like a nice bucketed tie light that I like sat comfy in, like I'd use that bad boy all the time to just cruise around in, take different places where it's super inconvenient or difficult to take a power chair, and one just for like activity and exercise, going out and pushing around the block a couple times and stuff. It's something that I miss and I wish I had more access to.
Yeah.
But again, I have the power to uh, change my reality and get me something like that by talking to my buds at the Triumph Foundation, or my buddy Bobby, who's trying to get rid of a chair and stuff. There's a whole network of people you could talk to nowadays.
And that is an important part. I mean, I don't play rugby like my buddy Shawn here, but one of my favorite things is to just go out and push the chair. And I live pretty close to, a great beaches that they have great trails and easy access of the sidewalk. And I mean, my favorite thing is, 3 to 4 miles of a good push. I'm not racing, but I'm just pushing, and it's just great to be outside. So that does, I think it was somebody said it not too long. They don't use weed or medication, and I think it was Quad for Life, I think, or Quad to Walk. No meds. Secret is that the more I'm active, the less spasms keep moving, and that's what's great about having a manual chair, is you are moving that upper body, so it does help out a little bit if you're able to. Not everybody is, and
And I
sometimes
just so
it can be
want to say,
frustrating if you don't have that ability to get a good push, where it can be more frustrating than fun.
yeah, and I just want to say, like somebody like our buddy Peter, like I doubt like his activity that makes his body spasm the way that it does. That's just the nature of spinal cord injury too. I mean, certainly when I'm
Yeah.
active, like my body is less spastic. I think it's just because I'm spasming more maybe while I'm doing the activities, and get. I always say this weird thing. It's like I'm getting all my spasms out. I feel like I just have a certain amount like stored up in me, and I just gotta get them out, and then my body will chill. I know that's not how it works, but sometimes just the way our central nervous system is wired, and the way the nerves are severed in our spine or damaged, it can be very unique, and it can be just a real struggle. But activity, stretching, there's lots of other things outside of marijuana and baclofen to help mitigate spasms too. I know my favorite thing, honestly, is like get into a pool. Oh man, if I can get into some cool water on a hot day, like my body just melts. Like it has never like been more relaxed than like being in water. Or even like same with like a hot tub. Like if it's cool outside, like getting into water, I'll spasm initially, but then I can hang out in there for hours and hours and hours and not spasm at all. What's up, Kev? Our buddy CP420 in the chat. We're just chilling, dude. Wrapping up a quadcast. It's just been the boys today. Um, Bobby's back, thankfully, because we missed him. Shawn and I just
I
had
don't
the
know if
same
you
with
say
him.
back. I'm here present. No, I'm kidding.
No, you are back, Bobby. We're not letting you leave. Oh, Shawn doesn't have audio right now. What were you
Shawn.
saying, Shawn?
Uh-oh.
Oh, is that better? Cool.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you
I don't
now.
know how my mic got turned down. That's weird. But I was gonna say
No
shout
worries.
out to Lloyd, Mr. Wheels brother. I forgot he said what's up in the chat from Mr. Wheels account. He said he missed it this weekend, wants to come out. But yeah, I just
We missed
remember
you this weekend,
remember an old
dude.
chats. Yeah, we missed you out there, bro.
We had the pleasure of
Alice,
meeting your family, and it was amazing.
Just
And
do
just
it.
do what?
Mama.
And just
Mama says
yeah,
just
shout
do
out to
it.
the Conway family on Saturday. Alice, Doug, Emma, you guys were all awesome. So
Don't ask,
Where's the
Rob.
beard, Bobby?
It
Where's
was
the
one of
beard?
those for anybody who has beards and you didn't check your razor and see what number it was on. And I started, I went, oh no, I have it on the wrong number. And I had to kind of trim it down very shortly, but it's kind of nice how it's a little short. I feel like I look funny. I'm not liking looking at. I kind of look like my dad, and that's scary. But yeah, I'd rather have a little bit more growth than what I have right now.
That's all right, Bobby. It'll grow back. You'll get your beard
I
back.
know.
I do that. I use like the trimmer on my electric razor when I like grow out like my mustache, my goatee or whatever, and I'll just try to trim it when I like want to keep it. But sometimes like my hand will just slip and I'll go a little lower. And then it's like, oh, I gotta go like lower on the other side now. You gotta like reshape the whole thing if you just mess up a little
Yeah.
bit. But, hey, that's the game.
And no, you're right, Nico. I'm trying to look young like you, man. Whenever I look at Nico and his pictures, and hey, Nico, and I really enjoying your Instagram. Good stuff that you're putting out there. But it just reminds me, I'm like, God, I remember when I was young like that. So keep it up. If you can look young, keep it going.
And I can't wait for Chicago either, Kev. It's gonna be an awesome time, man. And I know we moved past it a little bit earlier. Peter says he doesn't know how to get there. Google it, Peter. Check out how far away you are from the expo. And we're staying there a couple days after. I don't know how close you are to like downtown and stuff, but yo, man, it would be amazing to get a chance to link up, Peter, while we're out there in Illinois. But we'll see. No pressure.
Yeah, Tom and I
Um,
will be there from
just check it
Wednesday
out.
to Wednesday. We're going 7 nights, 8 days. It'll be a
Allegedly.
long trip.
We got some plans on those days. We're going to be busy the whole time, but we're going to try to take advantage of it and hang out with our Chi-Town fam. It's going to be the best. Um, I'm really
Yeah,
excited.
we are looking forward to that. So, um, yeah, it's gonna be fun, and we got a bunch of other stuff locally coming up here too. If you guys want any of the ladies that are in here, I don't know if that Gracie's still in here, but we actually are going to be at the Rolettes Experience too. So shout out for them, and any ladies want to sign up for that, should do that. It's a really cool
Yeah,
event.
no, for sure. It's a really fun event. If you like dancing,
Well, there's way more than dancing too, because that's what I was talking to Chelsea about. Like, and they have way more than just dancing. They have all kinds of stuff on like chair skills and different stuff they're doing as well.
yeah.
So it's not just dancing. So there's all kinds of
No,
actual
there's so many fun activities
life.
and those,
Yeah.
But you know
and just like
what's great about the experience, and kind of, Shawn and I alluded to it a lot of times, is when you get around a big group of those with similar disability, um, uh, disability and uh, challenges of like trying to learn how to transfer, or kind of learning what type of catheter you might use or leg bag you might use and cushion you might sit on, and wait, how'd you do that, and oh, do you drive from your chair, do you transfer, and you just get these little tidbits. And one thing, when I used to go to rugby tournaments, it was all fun and having a great time, but I just watch people and how they
Yeah.
do things. And like, oh, I've been doing it the hard way. And so when you get a big group like that, especially at these roulettes, you pick up on so much, even if you don't even ask a question.
yeah,
Yeah, like that's what rugby did for me. Same thing. And that's what I feel like for girls. That's probably like as good or better than any other type of meeting
Event.
thing, just because like girls can
Yeah.
they're more comfortable, I'm sure, asking each other questions, not like asking us dudes some different stuff about catheter care or whatever different things they got.
no
So it's cool
doubt.
to
And
connect with your peers.
if you find yourself in that situation and waiting for the Rolettes experience or not able to get to it, every other week we do a women's disability show hosted by the beautiful and amazing Brianna Wheeler, who hosts awesome, other amazing women. They talk about living life, feeling confident, tackling this disability, and feeling good. And yeah, living life. It's a really amazing show. I tune in from time to time and listen to the ladies and get inspired. So if you are finding yourself in that situation, make sure to go check out that show because it really is awesome. And Brando does a great job and talks about some really amazing things. And then if you find yourself in the boat of aging with disability, which I think many of us do nowadays, please make sure to check out Mr. Rohan, the two Bobbies, the Bobby crew.
No, if Robert
Bobby,
likes being called Bobby.
Robert and Robert, but we got
I
Bob
know.
and Bobby.
I'm
But
just, I can't help it, Shawn. It's in my blood. I just gotta give people their nicknames.
but
But the Bobby twins, catch
I do
them on
want
Rolling
to
Over the Hill, second and fourth Thursday.
I want to see CNY. Hit me up on Instagram if you can find Robert Rohan is my Instagram. But love to talk to you. Maybe have you as a guest. 45 years. I'm sure you've experienced a lot as much as I. And actually, about you said something about Gordon Lightfoot passing away. No, that is one of our favorite artists. My wife and I. My wife's seen him many times, and we have a lot of his albums. So we were definitely saddened about that because I used one of his songs for our wedding, and yeah, it was sad.
Well, rest in peace, Mr. Gordon.
Yeah.
Lightfoot, keep yourself and your family in our thoughts and prayers. That's hard. And we are not gaming tomorrow. Mr.
Boo.
Wheels, uh, Hell Wheels, I am sorry. We are moving into Thursday. After the Thursday show, I have a family dinner. I got a family member flying into LA tomorrow, and I'm gonna go have dinner with my mom and my cuz. So Shawn, sorry for the live update on that, but we are gonna move into Thursday this week. We will be getting our gaming on. It's just gonna be a double up on Thursday shows. So make sure you're hanging around on Thursday. You got whatever it is you like to sip on or smoke on, and come and hang out with us on Thursday because it's going to be a fun one.
So Tom,
Yeah, hit
speaking
me.
of, we have a little bit of time, and speaking of gaming,
I didn't.
so
Yeah,
my grandson, who's a big gamer, 12 years old, uh,
yeah.
wants to play the baseball, MLB baseball on his Xbox, and help me out with a controller that would work for me. And I looked at the way you do it on your gaming, and I tried it this weekend, and not even a chance. So tell me what would work best so I can kick this little kid's ass and put him in his place.
All right, I got you. I'll send you a link after, but probably what system is he on? Xbox or PlayStation?
Xbox, yeah, Xbox.
Okay. Well, then the Microsoft Adaptive Controller for sure. It's $100, which like game pads generally are between 60 and $100. So it's not too much more expensive, but it is infinitely customizable with big buttons and easy to use joysticks and things like that that you can position and arrange in any configuration you want, really, to make it accessible or bring it as close to you or anywhere on your body so you could use your chin or anything. It's $100. It's probably the cheapest adaptive gamepad out there in terms of its like customization, and it's built by Microsoft, so it'll definitely work for Xbox.
So why don't you
So that,
use it?
why don't I use it? Everyone asks me that. I don't know.
Because
I
you were
don't know if
gaming
it
before it,
would make
right?
me better. Like if I needed to, I would. If I played a game or played games where like I couldn't figure it out, then I probably would. But I'm I'm so functional with my controller. Here, let me not take out
Yeah,
my
that
mask.
looks real functional.
He didn't
Hey,
say he could
I'm
drive
a,
his chair good.
I didn't say I could drive my chair good.
Nico
No,
sounds like Nico has. It sounds like he might have the Xbox adaptive controller. Send me a video
uh,
of yourself, Nico, if you could.
I I don't know. It's just what I learned on. It would be like learning how to type again or learning how to write a different way if I use the adaptive controller, because I would just, I mean, it basically takes these buttons and just remaps them in a way that you can configure them. It's such wires connected to a central controller unit and stuff. So it, if I needed to, or if I wanted to like play a game that wasn't accessible, absolutely, like I wouldn't hesitate. But I haven't found a game that I'm not able to overcome with the gamepad that I use so far. Some mouse and keyboard stuff is really hard, and in fact, my favorite game that I like to play isn't as accessible as I want it to be, and I want to maybe come up with like a custom controller setup for it, but I don't know if the Microsoft Adaptive Controller would be the best for me versus like a custom gamepad system
Right.
that I could put together. But that's why I don't use this, because I don't need to. And part of it's because I grew up playing video games and learning on controllers like this. So I feel
Mhm.
that's where I feel most comfortable. If they had an adaptive controller 20 years ago, I probably would have used that, and that would be my bread and butter nowadays. The other adaptive gamepad for quads, like yourself, Bobby, or higher level quads, it's called the Quad Stick, and that even has mouth inputs where you can like, it's like sip and puff, so you can blow or draw air for like different function, and then use your chin or your cheeks or your face for other analog controls. And that is one of the most impressive, customizable, unique game pads out there for quadriplegics, especially higher level quads that maybe don't have any hand function or any arm function. More expensive, $700. Lots of organizations that can help make that easier or donate,
Yeah,
adaptive controllers and stuff. But again, that one's pricier and more difficult to customize. I feel like I hate to
really.
say I don't want to incentivize anybody from it, but your technical knowledge of like setting the gamepad up and then getting it to interact and work with the system that you're using it on. One, you probably most likely need a PC to map the controls and have it respond meaningfully, because consoles even nowadays in 2023, they're unlocking a lot of accessibility, but getting an outside controller that's not from the company like PlayStation, like Sony or Microsoft, it's really difficult. It's not as simple as just plugging it in and getting it to work nowadays, especially for a unit like the Quad Stick. But again, not impossible, just difficult and takes a little bit of knowledge and some time learning and researching. But for you, Bobby, definitely Microsoft Adaptive Controller, $100. I'll send you the link. Get it, and then once you get it, I'll come over and we'll play some games. And I'll get you good. I'll get you good enough to beat your nephew, or was that who you said your nephew?
No, my grandson.
Grandson. Okay. Your grandson. Well, he's not gonna know what hit him. He's gonna go like, "Ooh, I'm gonna beat Grandpa." And then, "Ooh, Bobby's gonna come up and just grand slam, grand slam." You're just gonna be hitting homer after homer, dude.
Yeah, I was watching him play the other day. I'm like, oh man, if I had a controller, I could kick your butt. He's like, yeah, right. So I'm like, you're on easy mode. Come on, look at your home runs.
No, we're gonna get you set up, and I promise, Bobby, you can learn. I mean, with your level of function, I know you could learn a controller like this. You would need
Yeah.
to sit there and watch me, maybe even in person, and kind of figure out how to make it like finagle it, make it work. Um, it, I just hate that it still is more expensive for adaptive controllers and stuff. I hate that they're just, if you go over to your buddies and there's a controller there, they're not going to have the adaptive controller for you. If you don't really know how to use the regular setup, it can be hard. Um,
Yeah.
but that being said, it shouldn't be a limiter for you playing if that's the only way you can play. And
Hmm.
things are infinitely customizable now. They even got an accessibility award at the gaming awards and stuff. So it, like, companies are really taking accessibility seriously when it comes to um, you know getting individuals with disabilities gaming, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I know even
Yeah, and
PlayStation finally came out with something.
I went to Craig Hospital for like a checkup back in 2018, and they showed it to me, and they're like, "You want to try it?" And I'm like, "Nah, I don't really game, so I should have tried it back then."
Yeah. There was a really cool booth at the Abilities Expo this year. They had an adaptive gaming setup, and they even had like a Steam Deck that is a mobile gaming console. It's like a mobile PC, basically, where they had the Microsoft Adaptive Controller hooked up to it, showing off cool things like that. But yeah, that was like one of my rec therapy things back in the day. My mom just added the comment, and I swear it is. Like, it sounds super silly. I always feel like I'm just giving an excuse to like play video games, but it's such like it was such an exercise for me, like to like learn, like more fine motor function, and I don't know, like it incentivized me to work on that stuff because like otherwise I wouldn't be sitting there, moving my hands the way that I was, playing games.
It's awesome, man. Yeah, I was thinking for you, you just learned on that, like you said. Like it'd be hard
Yeah.
to relearn
I can see
stuff.
that. No,
But
And
you should
kind
check
Peter
out
said,
Peter. Start playing games with our buddy Sarab Hell Wheels.
no, I want to get Peter on, dude. Peter plays Star Citizen, bro, or at least did back in the day. So he was like one of the early backers, and that's like an PC MMO. Peter's like an OG like PC gamer. Um, the reason so I can't do mouse and keyboard traditionally. Like I have my mouse and keyboard right here, but it's a trackpad and regular keyboard. I can use that for like typing and normal, like computer use. But when it comes to gaming, I don't have the function for mouse and keyboard. Like that's where I found myself like really kind of hindered for the first time when it came to gaming is like PC gaming. But the PC is special because it's easier to map outside controls to whatever the game is. Even if the game doesn't support it, you can use third-party software to use a third-party controller and still have the function to like map it any way you want. Yo, Peter, let's play, dude. We gotta talk, Peter. I'm gonna talk to you, man. We gotta get on some Star Citizen and do some adaptive gaming. But message
also
me
I
on
want to.
Instagram if you're able to,
I do.
dude. Message me your username.
I do want to get into that Fortnite that you guys play. It looks. I did used to play it on the iPad a long time ago with my grandson when he was younger, and it was okay. I mean, I was limited without some of the functions, but you know if I had the right gaming console or controller, it would work out a lot better.
The iPad would be the perfect gaming interface for you, except flipping greedy Apple. They like charge for in-app purchases or whatever, and Epic Games, like the people that made Fortnite, they don't want to give any of the cut. So they pulled it off the Apple Store because it used to be on the iPhone and the iPad, which again, that's why I love that game because it's free and it's pretty accessible to anybody on any console. But even more so if it was like on an iPad or something, which is a real shame that they took away that support. But yo, you're right, Surab. We do need a literal Discord so bad. I'm gonna make that this week, so that we could maybe have an online space to all talk and communicate. Um, but was there anything else, Shawn, that we wanted to talk about or touch on? I know we're 15 minutes over. I don't want to drag on too long.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we shouted out. We got our sponsors. We got all the shows in. We'll be back next week. Again, Tuesday, 3:30. Another live. Yeah, shout out everybody in the chat. Thanks for joining. I get and everybody seems to want the Discord. So that
Don't worry, I'll make the Discord tonight, dude.
THC.
Discord ASAP. All right, you guys. I got the memo. Yo, shout out Pistachio Doug in the chat. We love you, Papa. It was great seeing you this weekend. Everyone was saying how they want to hang out with Doug and go to the pistachio farm, smoke a J.
Yeah, nice dude. Dougie Fresh
But
in the
also,
house. Shout out.
Big,
Um,
big shout out to our CYN for that
Yeah, thank you
donation.
again.
So much
yeah,
for
no,
sharing.
we'll talk to you, Rob. I wanna we'll make it together, dude, and you can help me mod it because that's kind of what I'm mostly worried about. Is just having someone help mod the Discord, make sure nothing nefarious goes on there. But yeah, dude, we can handle that, no problem. Um, and we'll just only have the fam on there. But yeah, we'll get the Discord set up. We're gonna be doing some gaming. Peter, message me your Star Citizen ID, dude. Seriously, I wanna add you on there, man. And Gracie, it was really great. I don't think we got a chance to meet this weekend because I wasn't there on Sunday. But thank you so much for hanging out in the chat with us. We really appreciate having you here. And Brianna will be doing the lady show first and third Thursday of the month. So she'll be on this Thursday,
Yeah,
right?
she'll be on Thursday. Yeah.
Awesome. So just make sure to check back Thursday, 3 p.m. for the women's show.
And she
And then
actually
we're going to be.
mentioned she followed me and Bobby on I think Instagram, but couldn't find Tom.
Okay, cool.
But he look for
Uh,
the Live to Roll Instagram, and he's on there. He's link. We have him in the.
yeah. And as long as you follow their main accounts, you'll see everything that gets posted with the times and stuff. And I'll be doing some gaming Thursday after. Just message the YouTube account, or I'm on Instagram if you got an Instagram too, Peter. Um, but if you message the YouTube, Shawn will forward me the message.
Yeah,
Um,
no
yeah,
problem.
and yeah, well, I'll figure out a way to talk to you, man. I'll message you on your YouTube account for my account too. Um,
And
we'll get
everybody
in
else
touch.
that wants to reach out, feel free to reach out on our Instagrams, or you can message the account on YouTube. I think I might be a little slower to reply to that one, but I'll get to it. But yeah, just feel free to reach out if you guys have any questions, need anything. And yeah, Mr. Wheels shouts out Thursday. He'll be on, I'm
Uh,
sure, gaming with you guys. Um,
and
but yeah, anything else? What's up?
yeah, follow, like, subscribe if you haven't.
Yeah,
Uh, we love you
hit
guys.
that bell for notifications. And yeah, thanks for following Live to Roll. We'll see you guys next time.
Later, guys.
Later.